Moving back to China, hundreds of people, in fact, taking to streets in Beijing and Shanghai to protest against China's zero-COVID policy after China saw the kind of numbers of COVID. We have Suresh Kumar Goel, a former ambassador, joining us. Mr. Goel, large-scale protests happening in several parts of China. This is as a result of China's zero-COVID policy that is literally made people frustrated, and that is what is leading to protests. How do you respond to this?
What is happening is certainly not very common kind of a feature of Chinese politics, but it is happening simply because of the very, very tough zero-COVID policy adopted by Xi Jinping, which has actually, if you listen to the slogans being raised by the Chinese people, they talk about really making it difficult for them to come out of homes, buy their food, etc., and creating the normal day-to-day living very difficult for them. I don't see anything beyond that at the moment in the riot, with the exception that they seem to have also gone into the Tsinghua University. By the way, QI is pronounced as Chi, Tsinghua, just like Urumqi is not Urumqi, but Urumqi. So Tsinghua University, it has gone, which is an elite university, and most of the leaders from China are from that university and the Beijing University. So that's the only factor which creates some sort of a worry, whether this is going to spread further or not. But my suspicion is that Xi Jinping should be able to handle these things. He's a very sharp leader, very clever leader, with a bit of strictness in the against the rioters and a little bit of relaxation on the zero-COVID policy. I think he should be able to eventually quieten these things. It has happened before. You remember the banking riots in Henan? He was able to handle this. Shanghai, he will be able to handle this. So I see that maybe for a few more days, this will go on, but he will handle it eventually.
All right, so you're saying that Xi Jinping will handle it eventually. Now, lockdowns are necessary, of course, curbs are necessary. We've seen that in India as well. But somewhere China has taken this a step too far is what people are believing. We know that China was the epicenter of COVID nearly 3 years back as well. Perhaps that's why this time, perhaps the president doesn't want to leave any stone unturned, and therefore he's taking it too far, which is, of course, not going down well with the public because they feel very restricted at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you have read the situation rather well in this particular case. I think after a few days, I think once they see the effectiveness of the action being taken by the government, and if the day-to-day living difficulties of the people have been met with and softens the approach a little bit, things will, I think, calm down later on.
All right, so you're saying things can be handled in a bit, in a few days to come. Also, Mr. Goel, since you worked closely with several of these countries, how do you think this can sort of be controlled in the days to come? How now we are seeing 30,000, 40,000 cases.
Yes.
It may go up to 80,000. We don't know. So where is the balance? According to you, when do you think that balance can be reached, or when do you think the curbs can be put under control? When do you think Xi Jinping should take measures to sort of ease these curbs which are really frustrating the public? What is the right time?
I really don't know. It's very difficult to say when the right time is. I think in this particular case, the guiding factor will not be really when the peak comes, when the number of COVID cases peak up. But I think the guiding factor is going to be acceptability of these zero COVID policies and the restrictions to the people. So there could be a very little relaxation just to soften up the approach, little, but not fully. Still control restrictions on the movement, meeting, mixing, etc. Just to basically make them more acceptable. And that may happen soon enough, in a day or so, hopefully.
Right.
Otherwise,
so
Otherwise, they may spiral out of control.
Right. So you're saying acceptability of zero COVID policy is important. So this has to be done sooner than later because this is frustrating people, leading to all kinds of violence. So perhaps in a day or two is when things could ease out. Thank you, Mr. Goel, for joining us with all your thoughts and inputs.
Thank you.